of one of my podcasts that I do, which is called the Ice and Firecast. Please follow on iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, of course. Should be on Spotify soon too. I should probably get some ads, but yeah, if you guys want to watch me play Fortnite, I will be doing that pretty soon. So let me just change this up. Podcast. I'll show some podcast update. Okay. All right. Oh, you know what? I have to go on Discord on this. The Discord. Le Discord. One thing that I like about PC's chat is I like how you can split the screens into two, which is cool. You can't do that on Mac. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that on Mac, but there isn't a way. Yo, what's up, B? Podcast is on everything, or almost everything. You mean what is the subject matter on? It's on a show called Game of Thrones. Probably probably a really small show that you may or may have not heard it. But I will be using that right now. So hello, testing. Okay. Tristain. What is dead may never die. Okay. I have to go to general. Go in here. Apple keyboard. Alt to record. Yeah, sorry guys. Like I know I just started Fortnite, but I forgot that I had to record something tonight, and it's gonna have to happen right now. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. I don't think we're gonna be able to use this. Hold on. Okay. I think we're gonna have to go in. Let me just test this real quick. It has to come from here, I think. Yeah. You guys hear that, chat? Or no? Huh. Hold on, chat. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear any music at all, chat, or no? All right, this ain't working. Hello. Hello. Testing. All right. Hello. Hold on, chat, real quick. you should be able to hear that music, right? That's why. Okay. It's not supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be. I need to switch this up real quick. It's actually not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be. That should work, chat. All right, we're back. Yo, Steam. Yeah, Steam. I apologize. I will be playing Fortnite. I just played it. I literally just played a game. I apologize about that, Steam. I have to. I have to record. So I do a podcast, or I do multiple podcasts with friends. One of them is on a show called Game of Thrones. You know, a little bit of a tiny show. It's one of the most popular podcasts out there for Game of Thrones. And I have to record an episode tonight with a buddy of mine, but I will be doing Fortnite right after, for sure, brother. So just hang in there, dog. I apologize, guys. I apologize, guys. Apologize. All right. Actually, move this closer so I don't have to. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. All right. Okay. Let's try this. Rogers. Let's try this. Yeah, should work now. Hello? Okay. It's calling right now. Hello, testing. Okay, testing. All right. So now here, I have to do...
Oh, is it working?
Yeah, it should work. Hello?
Hey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it going through okay?
Yeah. Sounds really good, actually.
I don't have any of the video stuff set up.
No worries. Don't worry about it.
Well, let me just... I'll get some... I'm glad that worked. Good. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah. No worries. Cancel that. Game of Thrones. I need to find a wallpaper thing. Game of Thrones wallpaper. Sure. I need to find a wallpaper. HD 4K. I'm not 4K Arya Stark. Are you kidding me, brother? What the? Okay, here we go. Yeah, chat. I apologize. I'm gonna be doing I just have to do this quick Game of Thrones podcast, and then we'll be back with some more Fortnite. What's a good one, dude? I need like the best ones, dude.
All right.
The best wallpapers. There we go. Lit. It's actually kind of sick. I'm actually gonna make this one. What is my screen? 2014. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man?
It's been a day.
It's been
or two.
Yeah, dude. 25, okay.
Last spoke.
Like spoke, right?
Real spoke. Spoke.
Yeah, dude. Man, it's been a while for sure.
Easter?
What's up?
Easter, was it fantastic?
My Easter? Yeah, it was good. It was real good, dude. Oh, I have span on. That's why. Okay. How about yours?
Pretty good. Too short.
Oh, yeah. Man, hold on real quick. Okay, span. No, not tile. Fit. There we go. Boom. We filming. All right, we're good. That looks real good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yo, appreciate that. All right. Let's see if this works. I don't remember how to do this. All right, here we go. Let's test this out. Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Hey, always a pleasure. When there's time, I was like, well, I got to do something, man.
I appreciate it, dude. Yeah. My friend, my co-host, who I usually do it with, is out of town right now. And honestly, I'm still trying to get more and more people to hop on so I can get more and more different perspectives.
And it's sad because it's basically half over.
It is half over, but dude, I'm so glad you're here and you can do this with me. So thank you. I appreciate it, man. I'm not gonna take too much of your time. I know you're super busy.
It's a good break. I'm almost done with the paper.
Nice, dude.
Break.
Awesome. How's family, man? Everything going well?
Oh yeah, really well. Super busy, but really blessed how busy it is.
Sure. Yeah, dude. Sure.
In sports, man, it's a new era.
Dude, we get Bills and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. You see that?
Hey, I'm really excited. And what's crazy is we're in Georgia at that time.
Yeah,
and we
dude.
have Buffalo family there, and Falcons are playing that day too. So it's
are they? Okay.
gonna be one of the best sports Thanksgivings ever.
There you go. Yeah. Have you ever seen in your entire life, in your 21 years of years of life, have you ever seen?
94 was the last time
that they were on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were just born barely.
Bro,
you were just born barely. All right, dude. Man, I was trying to watch it again before we did this, but I'll try to go off of memory. It's still a quick conversation anyway. It's really just instant. It's just like your kind of instant reactions.
To it?
Yeah, and we don't do spoilers. We don't do spoilers on this one. So we talk.
So what is it?
So we just talk like what we thought about the episode and kind of where things going. And if we do give a spoiler, we can just say like, all right, real quick, we can't talk about the episode without spoiling this.
How do you do an episode without spoiling it?
I don't know. We did it last week and
yeah, I'm just curious. I didn't hear the last one.
We just talk in super like vague terms. Yo, Steam, appreciate it, brother. We just talk in super vague terms, like what we thought about the episode, the pacing, the story, the characters. We'll talk.
What's considered a spoiler for this episode? Like
that is true. There's not really that many spoiler things to spoil. I mean, I guess there's not really.
So do you talk about where you think it's going or how?
We could talk a little bit about that. Yeah, like I'm down. I mean,
I just don't want to. I don't want to offend you or your listeners with talking spoilers without trying. I don't want to be too vague without like.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, it is what it is. Like, if you want to bring up some stuff and talk about it, I don't really care. If it's spoiler stuff, it's fine because I feel like
I'll take your lead for the beginning. Just
I feel like
see what kind of pace you're going for.
Yeah. Sure. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. Because last week, actually, I'm thinking last week we did do spoilers a little bit, but we didn't go in like super in depth things. We always talk about what we think. We always talk about a little bit about where we think it's going.
Okay.
But I'm trying to create this new segment, basically like another short, like 10 to 15, not 10 to 15, like 20 to 30 minute, also like short episode where we like break down on the next Game of Thrones trailer.
Okay,
that'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm sure we don't have time for that tonight. But anyway, yeah, let's just do our instant takes, I guess.
And I apologize in advance if any spoilers happen. And
it is what it is, guys. We'll say at the beginning of the show. How about that? Does that work for you?
Yeah, we'll just talk about it. Because I don't know anything about where the show is going, so I don't have anything to spoil up to this episode. So I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on. Let me just get the theme song up, and we're ready to go, dude. Be ready to go. Game of Thrones. Okay. All right. Can you hear this? Can you hear that or no?
Not hear anything except your voice.
You could probably hear if I played it off my Mac, but then I can't hear it, so it's okay. Actually, you know what? I got an idea. I got a cool idea. Let me just
whistle it. Just whistle it.
You You know what? I can't even whistle, bro. Did you know that?
What?
I
You
can't
whistle.
I can't whistle. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Hold on real quick. Give me a second. I can hum it. Dun, 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 dun.
Here you go. See, who needs music, man?
There we go. I got an idea. 500 IQ right here. Hold on. All right, let me get you back here. I'm going to stand for this one. Okay. Dude, it's so good to be talking to you again, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been so busy, brother. How is the classes going? They're going well?
I mean, it's awesome, but it's just it's stuff
work.
on top of stuff.
Yeah.
Then we lost our oven, we lost our hot water heater, and our dishwasher, like all in the same couple weeks. So,
whoa. Like they just like broke her, or
yeah. No, it's things that I didn't even know about with hot water heaters and home maintenance. That's something I've never even had to worry about. So
I know, brother. All right, you can definitely hear this for sure. You hear that? You hear that or not?
Can't hear it.
Oh, you know what? You hear that?
Here go. I hear a little something. I don't know. I can't hear.
Why can't you hear anything? That's weird.
Just imagine it and then come in when you
Let me try it one more time, okay? One more time. Let me just try this one last hoorah. One last. Can you hear that?
No.
Let me just try one more
I can't
time.
hear it. Just drag it over the piano and I'll play it for you.
I'm surprised you can't hear that. Oh, you.
God.
What?
Hear it.
You hear it?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Cannot hear it.
Okay, no worries. All right, we'll just play it. Forget it. Just kind of follow my lead, I'm sure.
Just record it on your end, and I'll pretend.
Yeah, you're good, you're good. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Derek, can you speak real quick?
Hey, testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right, I'm gonna pause this and listen to it back real quick. Ooh, yeah. What is that? Okay. It's not working. Hello. What the heck is going on? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this to work. Okay. Testing. Say something, Derek.
Hey, Derek side, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Say something, Derek.
Hey, Derek side, testing.
Okay, you're a little low. I just need to turn you a little bit up, and we're good to go. And maybe I should turn me down. That's what I'll do. Okay, I'll turn me down. Okay, we are ready to go. Okay. All right, record. Hit record, and. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ice and Firecast, a weekly Game of Thrones podcast where we talk all things Game of Thrones. I am one of your hosts, John Perez. We do not have Max on for this instant take. We just watched yesterday, season 8, episode 2. I never saw the title. Anyway, please welcome. So Max is not here. He's out of town. He will be back on Friday for our full spoiler ish spoiler everything review of season 8, episode 2. But taking his place for the instant take, making his return to the Ice and Firecast. The very last time he was on the Ice and Firecast was July 17th, 2017. We did it was our 16th episode, season 7, episode 1. So the very first episode of season 7, Dragonstone. When John goes to Dragonstone. Anyway, well, please welcome back the resident doctor, aka the resident maester, Derek Rogers. Derek, how are you doing?
Hey man, it's ice to be back, right? Is that the catchphrase to be back in it?
I don't think we have, but that's a nice catchphrase.
Okay. I mean, it's been since 2017 since I've been there.
Yeah,
it's a long time, dude. It took a long time for this Game of Thrones to come back.
I know, bro.
I think the episode was called like A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay,
I think that's what it was.
Cool. I would have guessed. I actually guessed the title because I missed it, and then when I went to go back to watch it on my app, because we watch it through our app, the HBO Go app or whatever, they don't even have the title up. So that's how like coy Benioff and Weiss are being this season. I don't know if you saw, but HBO is apparently not giving out the titles until it shows on TV, so we all see it for the first time, just to avoid spoilers. So
yeah. In this day and age, you can speculate a lot from those titles, and it kind of, I don't know, you kind of get misled sometimes too. So I think it's safer for everybody to not know what it's called. So
sure.
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2, called A Night in the Seven Kingdoms. A Night in 7 Kingdoms. Yeah, I was guessing last night. Yeah. I was like guessing. That was my guess. The last night or whatever it's called, which it was the last night indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dice and Firecast, the Game of Thrones podcast. Again, we do instant takes. So this one is not going to be as long as our normal review episode. I think when we do our instant takes, they're about maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. And when we do our full reviews, we do them for 2 hours long, Derek. It's pretty awesome. Whoa. Derek, you would have really enjoyed this if you were on it last week. The day before we were, or the morning, the night before we were going to record, we were going to record on Saturday morning, like 8 a.m. or something like that. I stayed up till about 3 a.m. Watching the episode, pausing it, taking notes, recording audio. Because I don't know if you remember, but when we do like the big review episodes, I do like a little bit of audio from the show, just kind of like set things up.
That.
I remember you being a really big fan of that. You're like, this is really cool. I remember you saying that to me.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, it took me like about 4 hours to do it all. I ended up sleeping around 4 a.m. that night, and had over 10 pages of show notes. So you would have really enjoyed that. It was really fun. It was really
things
fun.
You do for love.
The
right?
things we do for love. And with that, guys, we are doing welcome again to our instant take. We're gonna try to be as spoiler free as possible, but I think at this point, being the very, very last season of Game of Thrones, I feel like anything is up in the air here. So Derek, first of all, before we start, who are you and how long have you been reading/watching Game of Thrones, and how big of a fan are you of the show?
I was introduced right around like first season to it.
Yeah.
Just kind of like that main kind of hype thing that people were starting to talk about. My brother said I should like check it out, and I had heard about it, so I'm like, okay, family's watching it, let's do it. And I was a Lord of the Rings fan, especially the movies. The books, I wasn't a big fan of Lord of the Rings books, but the movies, and this, you know, it hit all the spots where you're like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And yeah, once I watched like that first season, I'm like, let's do the books. So read all the books, read all the other like short stories he has on it, and really enjoyed it. So have been along for the ride.
Awesome.
Only renew my HBO when it's season time, and, here we are.
Yep. How I asked Max this last week, right before, because we had like a preview when we broke down the trailer for season 8 a couple weeks back. But how are you feeling about it being the very last season of Game of Thrones?
To be honest, I wish it's not already starting. I would wait longer, because I'm the kind of person that once the finale comes, it happened for like, Breaking Bad. It's like I would wait. Any kind of show that I'm interested in, I'll like wait and put it off as long as possible, because I don't want it to be gone. And this one, as soon as the first episode started, I was sad, because I'm like,
I know
we're almost done. And so it's just exciting to be back into it. But I could have waited a while for it to come back, because I just don't want it to be over.
Yeah, it is super bittersweet. I mean, we might have talked about this before, but it just seems like, I don't know. It feels like it's time to wrap things up because I know a lot of the actors, like who knows how long they could do this for. If HBO really wanted to keep going, they probably could have went for another couple seasons here. But I mean, in terms of the way things work in the real world business / contractual side, it feels like the right time to end. But yeah, like you were saying, brother, I'm super sad. Like super bittersweet for me. Me coming in halfway through the show. I think I came in around season 4. Right after the Red Wedding, I think happened. But when so the fact that next week is the big episode, but also next week also being, halfway through the very last season of probably one of my favorite shows of all time, if not my favorite show of all time, is really bittersweet and kind of sucks. But, we'll enjoy the ride. We'll enjoy the ride.
And I think I read I've wanted the book to come out for so long, and I was like, there's no way this thing is gonna finish up, and it's unbelievable. So I guess the good thing is that the books will come out, and then you get the alternate reality of what happened, and we'll see how close it is.
There you go. We'll see. All right. We are not reviewing. We are giving you kind of our instant takes, our reactions, our first things first kind of thing when it comes to watching episode 2 of season 8. We just watched it last night. Derek, how did you? It's funny because let me set this up real quick. So I watched the episode. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I'm actually a really big fan of episodes 1 and 2s. I don't know if you listened to the episode before, but I was saying basically like I really like the past couple episodes because they're not only are they slow, but they really remind me of the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, where we really just get to do all character development. No special effects, no magic, no any crazy shadow monster things, right? Like it's all just character development, conversations, and I have been really enjoying these past couple episodes. And not only that, but it does give us a little bit of time to breathe because we know next week I think it's going 100 miles an hour next week for sure. And I think the rest of the season is, if there was any time to breathe in season 8, it was the first 2 episodes, which is fine. So I texted my cousin, who's another kind of big Game of Thrones fan. And I was like, hey, what did you think of the episode? Because every time the episode ends, I texted you too. I always text all my closest friends. I'm like, who are big Game of Thrones fans. I'm like, how did you feel about the episode? And a lot of them said really liked it, really enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. My cousin had a different take. He thought it was very fillery. He didn't think, he thought it was good, but he thought it was just like buying time. And he felt like they could have done all this in one episode, episodes 1 and 2. And I was like, they couldn't really do it. But anyway, but how did you feel about the episode yesterday?
With the first episode and this one, it had those, the circular feeling to it of callback to the first episodes. And it's kind of like the new, Star Wars movies too, where they go back to the, A New Hope and the things that you loved from that, and they kind of touch upon that with the new characters. And it's kind of cool to see that kind of thing going on with the cinematography and also just the characters. And this episode, episode 2, I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And for all those connections that were made and kind of like that preparation before the storm, it was a lot like the Blackwater episode in season 1.
Okay.
Where it's like a longer version. So this is part 1 of that, it feels like. But Blackwater was like that setup, and then they're all getting ready for Stannis' army to be coming. And that's what it reminded me a lot of. And it had this similar feel, because I think George R.R. Martin actually wrote that episode. And this one had that feeling too of really going back to the characters and the things, that, I don't know, those interpersonal relationships in the show that was really, really good. So I really enjoyed this episode. I always watch it with my wife, so we kind of, have our own viewpoints on it. And this is another episode that she really enjoyed. So
good.
That makes it, doubly enjoyable when your spouse can enjoy the episode as well. So it was, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, me too. I honestly loved probably every second of it. I think we could, to me, we're seeing kind of a result of how much time they have left, and some of the interactions were faster than others. But overall, I absolutely really enjoyed the episode. I love the conversation between them. And of course, it starts off with a bang with Jaime being under trial. Because he just arrived at Winterfell. We saw that in episode 1, right at the end there when he arrives at Winterfell and he sees Bran and his face says it all. But he's in that room and they're trying to decide what to do with him, and he he says, he says, I'm here to protect the living. I'm here to fight for the living, and I intend to keep that promise, which is cool, which is kind of awesome, and to see how far I think some of these characters have come, because we really haven't seen, like, the craziest part to me, Derek, is it's cool to see all these characters in one place where we haven't seen them. We haven't seen them either since season 1 being in one place, or haven't seen them at all being at one place at the same time. And for me, it was really cool to see that, especially all the scenes with Jamie and Brienne. I think, to me, like, if there was one couple in this show that I ship harder than any other couple, it has to be Jamie and Brienne, just because of their journey and the things they've gone through together. I mean, harkening back all the way to I think it was season 5 or season 4 or wherever it was, but when they were both in the bath together and they were having a conversation, and then see what ends up happening in this episode between the two, and then the whole group, was just so special to me, Derek.
Some of the best characters in this are the ones that kind of, I don't know, mirror each other with the rises and falls of their character arcs.
Yeah.
And Daenerys, Jon or Aegon, whatever you want to call him, a lot of the characters have had these ups and downs like crazy. You have, and you go on this journey with Jamie the whole time. Is like he starts off as this confident golden boy that is so skilled, and then you have him now where he's older and gray, and he's missing his, and it's like you've gone on this journey with him, so it's hard to not feel for him in that moment where it's like, yeah, he's gone through a lot. And it was a beautiful, concise way that Brienne kind of lined up everything for Sansa to just be like, oh, you're right, this guy has gone through a lot, and he was an enemy, but he has shown his true colors. And I think that's the beautiful thing about, I think, the writing, at least for Jamie right now, is that when he started, he and Cersei looked like twins, and now he looks so different than what he did before. So the visuals of his character arc is there, and I love that, with him standing just in front of everybody in this room where Littlefinger met his end. Oh man, he's on trial, and it ended best case scenario for him. Right, where you have Grey Worm handing him the sword, and he's welcomed in. So that's really good to see. Jamie is one of the more interesting and, to me, beloved characters. All the Lannisters, to me, are okay in my book, and Jamie is one of the most lovable. So yeah, it was a great scene with him. Loved it. Yeah. I love the tension though with the three rulers there. You have Sansa and Jon and Daenerys, and that, I love that tension there of like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And all the shifting eyes.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, man, that scene, I mean, was incredible. So it is called The Last Night, and so basically the episode is all about kind of their final night before the Night King and his army are going to attack Winterfell, and eventually they're going to come, which is sooner than later. We have a bunch. So basically, what happens in the episode, without giving too much away, but if you're listening to this, I feel like you saw the episode. Again, we do want to be respectful for those who haven't seen the episode yet. So when we do spoilers, we're gonna say, all right, spoiler time, and then we're gonna cut it out. But basically, it's their last night. It's the last night for everyone in Winterfell, right? Everyone's there. Everyone you love to see on screen is there at Winterfell. Like, that's not a spoiler. I mean, obviously, we know that they're all coming together to band together to fight the Night's King army for the living, the North, and all his or her friends, right? And so we have a bunch of characters who come together in some form groups, and some of them form find, I think, pleasure in certain things. Some of them find comfort in being together in fellowship. Some of them find comfort in others. Some of them just want to be alone. For you, Derek, what were some of your biggest highlights from these relationships and these kind of celebrations of everything that has been in yesterday's episode? What was your big highlights, your big takeaways?
Big ones were like the payoffs of that whole Arya and Gendry kind of like meeting up.
Yeah.
And that
really?
was
Okay.
Yeah, because we, that was the one where it's like, at some point that's gonna, they've kind of been hinting at that for like a long time.
Right.
And so that one was, for me, is interesting with the nudity aspect, where it's like I personally don't need that in my life. So it's like, oh no, Arya, it's like, okay. And so you fast forward that scene, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people would act, and the apocalypse. It's like you said,
Sure.
that's the way some people are getting that kind of closure and,
Sure.
and closeness with you. I really loved the stuff with Jamie and Brienne.
Yeah.
Especially with what the episode title is. Like, I really love that.
Yeah.
And I love drama for like these relationships. So when Jon and Daenerys have their conversation, finally, that one I really appreciated that. But as you said earlier too, some of the conversations were cut really short. Where it's like, I wanted to know.
I know.
And I'm sure we'll find out with Tyrion and Bronn what the chat was.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really thought of was the conversation with Jamie and Tyrion, and they're just kind of reflecting about like how those days are past and
that was
older
cool.
and everything. And it reminded me of when Tyrion was in ready to go on trial. Yeah. And Jamie was like, Jamie and him were talking. That was the whole Beatles being smashed talk, and it was such an intimate thing between brothers to have this kind of conversation. It was great to see them together again, kind of like that. And I think the honesty that comes forward from characters when they feel like their end is near, I feel like those conversations are the most honest and the most fun, because usually there's a lot of political aspects the way things are saying, but when people feel like they're going to die or they're face up against it, the honesty brings levity to the episode. So all of those relationships were just really poignant for that kind of like, oh my gosh, this is going to be really bad, and I don't know if I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
But I really liked those combinations of those conversations that you saw, especially any ones with Jamie. It was really great to me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's crazy to see the path Jamie has gone on. I remember, I mean, obviously we absolutely hated him in season 1, right? Like, and now
no, not everybody.
Well,
come on.
Okay. Well, I don't know how you saw this coming. There's like this dude is like not a good dude. I mean, maybe he was. I mean, ever since he had to slay the Mad King, maybe that was his goodness. That was a little bit of his goodness, but he was still like, sleeping with his sister, brother.
The Lannisters made it. The Lannisters made it interesting, and
sure,
and I appreciated that, because with characters like Littlefinger,
so you like them for who they were, obviously. Like, you like them because they were the wild cards at the table. You like them because they brought a lot of character dynamic,
not moral standings. That was not.
Yeah, well,
it was more of like,
right.
Yeah.
I did too, obviously, but I'm talking about like moral standings in terms of like the things they did, and now the things they're doing now. It's such a awesome like redemption arc for a lot of the Lannisters. I mean, with especially Tyrion and especially Jamie, which is cool. Again, like Jamie, ever since I saw him, kind of meet his downfall when he was captured by Robb, and then having to promise his oath to Catelyn Stark, saving Brienne from the bear, defending her against what's his name? Losing his hand, right? Like defending Brienne. Kind of you started to see those seeds of redemption. You started to see those seeds of, him getting out from underneath, his name, getting out from underneath Cersei, and then you fast forward to this episode. And how his redemption comes full circle, him wanting to be part of the North, him leaving Cersei, wanting to be part of the living side, and then you have him with the many characters he's had awesome relationships with, him with Tyrion, which was really cool to see. I mean, their conversation about, what they would do on their last night, and how they kind of come together with a bunch of people, especially with him and Bran, man. Like, I feel like there's no relationship like that in this show, and it's cool. I don't know if you watch, you probably do, obviously, like, you guys are huge Game of Thrones, but if you watch the after credits, after next preview episode, they do a deep dive into the episode, talking about some of the
behind
things.
the scenes.
And one of the things that really stood out to me is the way that Jamie and Brienne have processed their feelings throughout the years, especially Brienne, right? Like, Brienne, not being your normal lady, always kind of taking to her, to the knight side, or to the fighter side, not really being, kind of your prototype lady of the Seven Kingdoms, and so she's never had to process the feelings she's had for Jamie since early in their relationship. And the cool part, what I got was just, it might have started out with respect and honor, and her being a huge part of Jaime's transformation, because I truly believe that she was a big part of Jaime's transformation. Just their conversations on the King's Road when they were walking back to King's Landing, and then her, I feel like, they said this, which is, I think it's okay to say now, but she loves Jaime. At first it probably was a respect and honor thing, but she is in love with Jaime. It might not be, head over heels, not butterflies type of way, but it's definitely a love relationship. And her being able to process what she's going through with Jaime, in her feelings with Jaime, when the kind of thing that happens to her between the two in the episode, really validates the way she feels about him, which is really, really cool.
Yes. That moment of in the everybody, that was a beautiful segment, and the acting by, I think her name is Christine Gwendolyn or whatever it is.
Christine, yeah.
It was fantastic. The
So
joy
good.
in her face.
I know,
the
man.
reserving the emotion was really good.
Yeah, dude.
The cool thing that ties in with Brienne for that episode is the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That book was a prequel thing written by George R. Martin.
Oh yeah,
and that was the Duncan and Egg series. And Sir Duncan was this like big oaf, but he was he had the same kind of mannerisms as Brienne. And George R. Martin said like a while back that he's like, yeah, they are linked, like
they're related,
they are
right?
ancestors.
Or something?
Yeah. So, and it's cool that she gets knighted, and the first woman, like,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
like I love that. And to me, it brings worry about what's coming up for those two, because
man.
These good moments usually have a counteraction.
Oh, real quick, I want to shout out. I mean, first of all, I think we have to really applaud the acting in this episode. I felt like these were actors who realized the moment, who realized that this is the last time they might ever act with these other people. That this is the last time they'll be together in this way. Some of these characters know that they're going to die in the next episode and won't ever get a chance to have a conversation with the person that they're talking to across from them. And I felt like they let it really all out in this episode, and you could feel it through the screen, brother. When you watched Brienne's face and the joy that was on her face, you felt that, bro. And the coolest part was at the end, she let out this like huge smile, and you never see Brienne smile. I definitely had tears in those moments, for sure.
You don't see that many joyous moments like that,
Well, it's not a show of joy, It's a show of great joy, but it's not a show of joy,
And Tower of Joy,
and Tower of Joy, for sure.
So the I think that was probably one of the happiest smiles you'll see in that show. and it's cool because it's one of such, I don't know, purity and grace, where it's like a very honorable and noble joy, and it's one of like, she's earned it. She's earned her time, and
100%.
And you can't feel, you cannot feel good for her in that scene. And that whole arc with her and Jaime is it's beautiful, and you want that to keep going. And it's like, you know what, you two should just leave Winterfell and just be happy.
Why don't you guys go where Grey Worm and Missandei are? Go to Noth and just chill on the beach. We don't. It's okay. We all know Grey Worm is going to meet his end soon. Any other? Yeah, go ahead.
You had mentioned like with the relationship kind of things. The one that I really appreciated, because I have one of the characters that's gone through the most, and one of the people that I'm rooting for to be there at the end, holding the Iron Throne. The scene with Daenerys and Sansa was fantastic.
Great acting, by the way. Great acting.
When she goes in there, and it's so layered because Sansa is keeping her distance, and Daenerys is trying to win her over with charm. And you have these women that are not backing down. And right now in the show, I really feel like the women are stronger characters than the men. You have Cersei, who's incredible. You have Daenerys, and then you have Sansa, and you have these women that are they kick butt in every fashion. And to see them not backing down in that moment was awesome, because earlier in the show, you'd bide your time, and Tyrion said at one point, he's like, oh, you're gonna outlive us all, in the early seasons to Sansa. And Sansa, she is not subtle anymore. She has the power, and it's so great to see these women just not backing off of each other. And so I really appreciated that.
Does she control the veil now? Is that what's happening with her? I'm so confused on that part.
We haven't heard of, like, I think Sir Robin, I don't know.
Because technically Littlefinger controlled it, right? Because in his marriage to Lady Aaron.
To Lysa. Yeah.
To Lysa. And then, but then it seems like Big Royce over there is kind of talking to Sansa.
I think she has alliance. I mean, I think she has loyalty of them.
Okay.
I'm not sure of like the technicality of who has that.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that encounter. Great drama, and it's like it just
so good.
Builds the tension further of what's going to happen, after
So
this
good.
fight, which is really awesome.
Low key, one of my favorite moments, and I talked earlier about really quick conversations and really quick relationships that happen. They come and go. They're gone in an instant. With Jorah Mormont and little Lyanna Mormont, which was cool because I always wondered what was going to happen if they ever met, and what would happen. What would that conversation be like? And he, they briefly talked for a moment. He was pleading with her to just, go into the crypts, and where it's safest, because she's the future of the house. Because he knows that he has no power anymore in terms of House Mormont. And she says, obviously she says no, and she's going to fight. But, I mean, that's not a spoiler and not a surprise for anyone, But still, it's like that was a really cool moment. Another cool moment was, and I don't know, you can just hop in anywhere. A really cool moment was with Davos. He was at the soup kitchen feeding the people of Winterfell, which was cool. And he ended up seeing a girl who had some scars that were on her face that reminded him of what's her name? Derek, help me out here.
Is it Shireen?
Shireen Baratheon, which was a cool moment. He had to like double take, and it was a cool moment. It was a really nice sentiment and callback to Shireen Baratheon, who Davos had a really special relationship with.
Another relationship moment was Theon coming back to Sansa,
and
it seemed like the mutual respect and like understanding, and it is great because you did see them fleeing the castle, a while ago, and now they're back in there, and in different terms,
Sure.
And I really, my heart goes out for Theon too.
Yeah.
Which is like he's ready, man. He's looking for atonement. And
it'll come. Yeah,
it'll come.
I think
sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I think we're both on the same page. I don't know, like, do we think Theon's going to survive? I think we're on the same page of that. But I do think that they're doing a really cool thing with him having full circle redemption in terms of he started in Winterfell as a squire for Ned Stark. He basically was raised as a Stark. He basically, in all intents and purposes, is a Stark, just not by blood and by name. And then him being a being traitor towards them and doing the things he did, him becoming Reek under Ramsay, and then him starting that redemption road with him saving Sansa, and then going back to the Iron Islands, helping Yara, freeing Yara, and then him coming back to Winterfell, right back where it all started for him. I think his circle is coming to a close soon. I mean, I think he's obviously. I don't think he's going to make it in the next episode. I do think he's going to die in a very heroic way of saving someone. But it was a cool moment to see them two reunited. I also think that, I don't know about you, but it seems like Sansa has just a really special relationship with him. I don't know if if it's a shipping relationship, but it's almost like that because it seems kind of like that. I don't know.
I think it's just of a family member, and he's gone through a lot.
Yeah.
They've both suffered under the hands of Ramsay. So there's
yeah.
that. They're both like abused by the same person. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there is that something, a deeper connection.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to be a loved one. It's going to be mostly one of pain, but understanding of each other.
Cool.
The relationship I don't like at all, which I've never liked, is that Grey Worm and Missandei.
Okay.
I've never been a fan of that. So that kind of farewell thing. It's like
it's okay. We know Grey Worm. We know you ain't making it next episode, brother.
Either he doesn't make it or Missandei doesn't. Right.
One or the other, because
it's one of two things are going to happen at Winterfell.
Yeah.
And it's attacks from inside or outside that's happening. So one of them has got to go.
Yeah, I read a theory today. And, we're gonna end this soon. Sorry, Derek. That's running a little bit longer than normal, but one theory that I read today was that they mention that the crypts are the safest place in all of Winterfell, like 20 million times during this last episode. We know that a lot of the dead Starks are buried there. We know a lot of dead are there already, and so the Night King can raise the dead. So maybe hinting at something going on in there.
Do you think they can get out of the crypts?
What do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I wanted to ask you about that theory.
When they brought that critter back from the north to show Cersei, that thing couldn't get out of that wooden box, and like. You have these crypts of stone and shields and metal on top of them. It just seems like if they can't break out of that box, are they really going to get out?
That's true.
And I guess that it also depends on where we think the Night King is right now. You know, because they could be setting it up of like we're putting them all in the crypt and what's going to happen, and we don't know. You know, it might be just a big like red herring that they're trying to. Like for you personally, the crypts. You know, there's people down there that we've seen and loved. I don't buy into some of those people being brought back.
I think it would be kind of crazy, man, and I think it would be super Game of Thronesy to do that. But I don't know. I don't want them to. I don't want them to.
For certain beloved characters, like it makes sense because they're in. Yeah, but the
bring them back
the
one
OGs
last time, man.
Broken apart, man. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but it would be a cool moment. Crazy. But I have no.
It'd be kind of crazy. 2 things to leave on here. Really cool moment when they were all in the command room, kind of going over the plan to kind of fight off the Night King and his army on how to basically man Winterfell and defend it. I thought it was really cool for the scope and scale of what's going to happen in the next episode. We know that the Night King has so much of the dead ready to go. He already has even more members because in the beginning of the episode, you know, with Dolores Ed and Tormund coming back and Beric, they're basically saying like whoever's not here already is part of the Night King's army. So he already has so much. That includes probably Deepwood Mott, and of course we know Last Hearth was hit last week as well. But really cool to see them all together hatching up a plan. And then I do want to give my boy one last shout out for Tormund's comedic relief in the show, because I thought anything that came out of his mouth was comedic gold. Yeah, man, it was so good. Especially with the story with the giant's milk was so good, dude.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna come out of that.
Dude, he went from like being one of the most bad. He still is a badass character, but he went from being probably like one of the most intimidating characters on the show to now just being like the most funny dude in the show. I love it, dude. I absolutely love it.
I mean, when he first shows up and he asks if the big woman's there. That was like. That's
it. He's got that Marvel comedic humor, you know, when everything's so serious. It's so good. Anything else you want to talk about, Derek, before we go?
Grilling Bran more, you know, and like,
let's do it.
That was the thing. It's like he has all these. He has knowledge, and Tyrion has talked to him, and that's the one thing that's like. You got him. You got the answers. You got the Wikipedia right there.
You got Google right there.
Why isn't anyone like seeing? And he didn't know if you can kill those things with dragonfire, so that was
it was interesting,
somewhat interesting. But I love that when you have them above, like you said, in the command room and like going over the plans, and you know, I think the Night King knows more than they all think he knows.
Yeah,
and he's up to something. To put Bran, what is your thought about Bran being in the middle of the courtyard? You know, in the open.
I want to talk about.
Then apparently,
I do want to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the place to talk about it. Quick reviews.
Yeah, quick reviews. I do want to talk about just my biggest question coming to season 8 was I wanted to know more about the Night King and his army and their motives. I didn't feel like it was a satisfying answer when you tell me that, or even before, like just guessing at his motives is just he wants to take over the world. Like that's such a boring to me. He
wants to wipe out the memories of mankind.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Did you buy any of that? Because I felt like. I feel like we need like 3 more seasons to. The Night King to me, just like when you were saying that you liked the Lannisters for their kind of the things they brought to the table in terms of the show and the scale and the scope. Yeah. To me, the Night King is the same way that I feel. The same way you feel about the Lannisters, the same way I feel about the Night King. I think that he's probably one of the most interesting characters, but I don't think they've done him enough justice in terms of screen time, in terms of going into what his motives are. I don't like it when people just say, "Oh, he just wants to take over the world. He just wants to make everyone dead." Like that is so boring to me. I feel like he wants something more, and it does start with Bran, which is interesting. I don't know how I felt about when they brought up that he wants to just erase all of the memories of the world. That's why, he wants to attack Bran and all the 3-eyed ravens, which I thought was interesting. Go there. I want to go there. Why? Like why? Like why does he want to do that? You know?
we've enjoyed the more complex characters in Game of Thrones. So when you see someone as
Unknown.
two dimensional as
Yeah.
this, it is disappointing. But at the same time, Bran is very veiled in the things that he's saying. So there's probably more to this story that he's putting it out there. But I think there's a lot of hidden conversations that have happened that we don't know, that it's probably going to unveil itself over the next couple episodes at least.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think they're last but not least, I mean, do you think they're wrapping up with the Night King and his army after the next episode? It's over?
It's going one of two ways. If the Night King is attacking, I feel like if he's actually at Winterfell, we haven't seen him there.
We have not yet.
So if he's attacking there, it's over. But there's that chance that he's going to King's Landing right now
see that.
Separate Jon and Daenerys.
I did see that.
And that I like that. And if that's the case, he's not gone at this next episode.
No.
But if he is there, I feel like this is the end of him. And then we get to me, the real interesting part is like how this then settles. That's what I'm excited for. I kind of want the zombie attack to be done because I want to see how it's politically.
Sure, same. Personally, I'm going to predict that.
Especially if
Go ahead. Finish.
Especially if it is as we're thinking and what you're afraid of, it this being a two-dimensional character.
Yeah.
Then get him out of the way because he's not interesting. And the more interesting people, we want to spend time with those.
Exactly. We don't have that many episodes left, and that's why I'm more of a believer of it's going to be over after this episode. I think that they're going to get pushed back. I think they're going to lose, and their only hope is to defeat the Night King, and I think they do it. We're going to get a lot of Derek. We're going to get a lot of deaths this next episode. Agreed.
Yeah, I think the primary, like the secondary characters are gone. Maybe a main character, but I think it's going to be people like Grey Worm and people like Barrack and people like those, the secondary characters. Because I think the big thing is a big trial and fight towards episode 6 and 5.
Yeah. Anything else, Derek? Before we go, thank you so much again.
Well, yeah, dude, this is awesome to chat about this stuff. I'm really enjoying this season. I'm really sad that we're halfway, and but this next one is going to be right after Avengers Endgame. You're going to have this. It's going to be a crazy amount of the nerds and geeks of the world are going to be. It's going to be a horrible weekend.
The most epic weekend coming up. The episode's going to be 90 minutes long, Derek. How are you feeling about that?
Is it really? Because I think this last one was like 66 or 68 minutes.
Yeah, if you look at the
is it really going to be longer?
Yeah,
awesome.
It's gonna be an hour and a half. 90 minutes is what they said. If you go to like IGN and all these popular websites, they have episode. They've already have the length for all the episodes. This is the longest episode. This is the longest episode of all of them. The rest of them are like 108, 110. These ones were only like the first episode was only like 54. I think this past one was only like 56 or 58 or something like that.
I'm really excited for this episode because one of my favorites is when the wildlings attack the wall and like there's a scene where the giant shoots the arrow and there was like some amazing footage and like the special effects were great. So I'm curious to see how this is going to look too, especially when you have all the big players all in one spot. It's going to be like, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be like the first Ninja Turtles movie. First Ninja Turtles movie when they're all fighting in New York City against Shredder, and it's gonna be you're gonna have everyone in the same areas swinging. It's gonna be great.
Nice, dude. Nice. What's crazy is this. It's the longest battle in TV and film history that they've said they shot. That couldn't do. So gonna be.
I feel like there's got to be some big shock then because people know this is the big.
This is the big one, man. Like. This is the big one. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll have to have you back, Derek. I would love to have you back for one of these episodes. I mean, it would be awesome. I mean, I think next week we got to do a big, and I would love to watch an episode with you. By the way, that would be.
That would be
even
good.
If we have to go all the way out to Manassas. I don't care, dude. It would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Talking on the Ice and Fire podcast,
ladies and gentlemen. That has been episode 21 or something like that. Instant take for episode 2 of season 8. Again, we only have half a season left, which makes me pretty sad, but also kind of happy in terms of finally we're going to learn what's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on Friday for the very long 2-hour long review. Probably 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to be. 2-hour full episode review on Friday. So stay tuned for that. If you want spoiler, I know we don't really use these episodes for spoiler heavy, but I think we did all right, Derek. guys, you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, soon to be Spotify, and we'll catch you on the next one. If you like the episode, anything at all, leave a review. We truly appreciate that. 5 stars would be awesome. Comment would be awesome. Share, like, all that stuff. We'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.